TGIF, and welcome back to the channel, guys and girls. Anyway, I hope you've had a great week. We're moving up a little quicker today. Anyway, I hope you've had a great week, and hope you're looking forward to a good weekend, and you're going to get some fishing in, or in this area be opening bow season this weekend. Tomorrow I'll be in Elkins tomorrow, or at least tomorrow morning anyway. Girls has to go cheer for the Pee Wee football. Anyway, I might get to do some hunting Sunday maybe. Just have to see what happens. Anyway, today I want to talk about sinkers, the size of sinkers that you need to be using. Mainly I will talk about Texas rigs. I may get into some other things just a little bit, like Senkos and stuff. If you're throwing a Senko or some kind of soft plastic over weeds, you may want to go down to like an 1/8 ounce or 1/16 ounce, something like that, something really small, just to get your worm down a little faster, and that real lightweight will not bury you down in the grass too bad. Most of the time your worm will just set on top of the grass. But anyway, I want to talk about your Texas rig stuff. When you're fishing, water, say less than 20 feet and less, most of the time I'm using a 3/16 ounce weight, unless it's if it's really windy. I have to go up, quarter, 3/8, sometimes a half. But for the most part, if you can get by with the smallest weight you can get by with, you'll have more bites and catch more fish, of course, if you're getting more bites by using the smallest weight you can get by with as possible. If you're fishing over 20 feet, then I want to usually go up a little bit heavier. But I'll fish down to 20 feet deep with the 3/16, and it doesn't take it that long to get down there. But as an example, I was fishing Bull Shoals, and we was fishing down the end of this bluff, and then around this point, and into one of my favorite coves on Bull Shoals. Guy I was fishing with, he was using a half ounce sinker. I was using a 3/16 ounce sinker, and I was catching 5 and 6 fish to his 1. I was catching a lot of fish, and I was catching bigger fish too, and I think I'm certain it was due to that smaller sinker that I was using. And I've got other examples just like that, using the smaller sinker than my partner was, and I was catching more and bigger fish. Now I have seen it go the other way, where they wanted it falling fast, and my partner was using a bigger one, and he started catching more, and then I switch up to a bigger one, and then I would start catching more. But most of the time I wouldn't go up quite as big as what my partner's fishing. I'd stay a little bit lighter, and that way we wasn't fishing the exact same thing. I mean, we might have been fishing mainly the same bait, but mine was falling still a little different, and I was still catching more bass. I got to start catching more bass than he was, even though I needed to go up in weight just a little bit, but it still wasn't as heavy as he is. But anyway, have you a good selection of weights, you know. Get a small one, that way you can throw the swimming worm, you can let your Senko set on top of weeds, and you'll want a 3/16. That's one of my favorite sizes. You want a 3/16, even if the wind's kind of blowing, you can still fish a 3/16 in, you know, out to 5-6 foot of water, and still be able to hold bottom contact, still feel what's going on, even if it's kind of windy. If you go below that 6 footish depth and the wind's blowing, you're going to want to go up a little bit. But just a rule of thumb, use the smallest weight as possible. It will catch you more fish 99% of the time. There's that 1% of the time where you're going to need a larger weight to get more bites, because it's more of a reaction bite, with it falling down past their face in a hurry. But 99% of the time they like the glide action that you can get out of a bait on that lighter sinker. Sometimes you'll want to peg it. Most time I don't peg it. I don't like pegging them unless I have to. If you're fishing in real heavy cover, fishing in real thick weeds, and your sinker's going through but your bait's not, then you're going to want to peg it so it'll pull it down. And of course, once you get into that kind of situation, you'll be using a big weight, but still use the smallest weight that you can get by with to get your bait down through the mats or through the brush, whatever thick cover you're fishing in. Use the lightest weight you can. Even when I'm flipping, most time when I'm flipping, I try not to get over a 1/2 ounce weight, unless I'm in extremely heavy grass, then I have to go up to 3/4 or an ounce, 9/16, sometimes 1.25 ounces to get through that thick grass. But for the most part, even when I'm flipping, I try not to get over a half ounce, because I believe I get more bites. Especially, I mean, I fished in the back of the boat, and I fished in the front of the boat, and even when I'm fishing in the back, if I'm using a smaller weight than the guy in the front, 99% of the time I'm catching more fish than he is, and a lot of the time bigger fish. And I really believe it's because of the smaller weight. Anyway, that's kind of my tip for the day. Use the smallest weight you can and you can get by with it. And today's video will be brought to you by Core Athletics. If you have a child interested in cheer, if you have a child interested in tumbling, anything to do with that kind of thing, Core Athletics here in Northwest Arkansas, between Farmington and Prairie Grove, that is where you want to go. If you have a child interested in any of that, please contact Core Athletics here in the Prairie Grove, Farmington area, and get set up with them. They've got an awesome new building. They've got competition cheer. All 3 of my girls and 1 grandchild is in competition cheer there. They are great people. They are great people to work with your kids. And so, if you have any questions, if you need their number, if you can't get a hold of somebody, you need their number, leave me a message below and I'll get you their number so you can get in touch with Core Athletics. Anyway, I'm gonna get off here. You all have a great weekend. Enjoy the outdoors with your kids, grandkids, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. Get out and outdoors. Get you some fresh air. Get you some good vitamin D from the sun before it gets too cold, or you're not gonna want to be out there. Anyway, y'all have a blessed weekend. And I will see you guys out on the water.